Women's Center, how can I help you?
Yes, I don't know what to do. I have an abuser that has been able to blackball me and keep me from all domestic violence help in all my environments. No matter where I'm at, I've been all the way to Texarkana, Grand Prairie, and he has interrupted all help I could possibly get to flee his abuse. And he's enlisted the government in his abuse.
Where are you? Where are you now?
I'm in Fort.
We open at 9.
Okay, well, when I came there last time, the worker told me she couldn't help and was psychologically abusive. She told me she couldn't help, and she told me that I couldn't get case management. And when I tried to record her, she got upset. But it's been a pattern for me to travel to these locations and for them to sabotage assistance and blatantly lie about services. Doing that in a conspiracy is criminal.
Have you tried to contact the police? I mean, that would be your next step. Contact the police. If you've been to our office and they can't help you and you can't get help anywhere else, and your abuser keeps on threatening you, I would call 911.
What's your name? What's your name?
I'm sorry.
What's your name?
My name's Dora.
Okay, so what I'm not being heard, Dora. My abuser is able to intercept help with domestic violence organizations, and he's running the police department. I want to be like other women fleeing, and for all organizations not to scheme to keep me from services. I don't want for people to sabotage any education assistance altogether, period, and tell me to go to my bullies for 6+ years.
Okay, but you did say that you came into our office and they told you that you couldn't get help.
It was staff misconduct, ma'am. I don't know why you're not concerned about my abuser being able to control all domestic violence organizations.
I'm not saying that I'm not concerned. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, so I wanted to get down to the bottom why your staff had. What's your name again?
My name is Dora.
Okay, I want to get down to the bottom of why your staff had misconduct and nodded to security when we left out the room like it was a plan for me to get denied services and then get removed on your camera footage.
Let me give you the number to our victim services department. Since you are a victim, I'm going to give you that number.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why all these places I call are not concerned about their staff misconduct.
I'm not sure either, so I'm going to give you the correct number.
Yeah, I think maybe someone's controlling my experience. That's not normal. Let me get something to write with. Can I get something to write with? Yeah, that's not normal for me to experience this year after year. Okay, what's the number?
It is 817-927-2737.
And what did I call? What did I call?
Victim services, and that is our hotline.
Okay, what did I call? What are you?
You call the Women's Center, the front desk, so I am the receptionist.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, let me call it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
For calling, your call will be answered by the first available operator. This is Serena. How may I help you?
You said this is a Women's Center?
Yes, this is the Women's Center. How may I help you?
Yes, my abuser has been able to blackball me from all help in domestic violence and also use the police department to conspire with his abuse. The police department enlists civilians to rack up charges in the conspiracy to violate my rights. And I have been blackballed from all domestic violence assistance.
Okay, and I'm actually the receptionist, ma'am, but I'd be more than happy to see how we can help. What is your first and last name before the office reopens? It looks like they'll be in shortly at 9 a.m., but I can request a callback, or if you need to speak with an advocate immediately, I
yes.
can try to connect you now.
Okay, yes, I'd like to speak with the advocate.
I have Allison here to assist you further.
Okay, thank you.
Hi there. My name is Allison. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
So sorry, I'm just moving to a different room.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Hello?
Hi, sorry, my headphones connected and I didn't know what happened. So what brings you to call the hotline today?
Yes, I have been in a domestic abuse crisis that has involved the government, and they have railroaded me and blacklisted me from all help and assistance to escape abuse that the government's enlisted in. So they don't give me any education, any information on my rights, assistance, anything, period. And they play a
Oh
lot of
my goodness,
locations play mind games and are psychologically abusive.
that sounds horrible. Oh my goodness, I hate to hear that. That sounds so frustrating.
It is.
What happened that they're trying to like cover up? It sounds like.
I have 20 false arrests. My kids were taken in corruption. This man is railroading me and hijacking my life, like from a horror movie. And all police departments cover for him, and all domestic violence locations, all churches, and all people I come in contact with. If they were going to help, they eventually retract.
Okay, that's it sounds like you probably feel really stranded right now. Let me trying to find my little resource sheet for you, something that hasn't been offered to you
Oh,
yet.
you're gonna get your resource
there
sheet.
anything?
Your resource sheet. Yeah, this is
Yes,
kind of what
ma'am. But
happens.
it's
That's what happens for 6 years. Everywhere I call wants to give me resources. Some another location. That's part of the mind games. You have services there. Is
oh,
there
I
any
see.
particular reason why you're not offering them?
To be perfectly honest, I'm pretty new at this.
They
But
have been
I'm
for
here to
six
help
years,
you.
man. They have been for 6 years.
Sorry?
They've been new for
I
6 years.
know. No, like I'm saying I'm like new to helping in this capacity. But can I do wrong? I really want to get you help. And I appreciate that you've been patient with me this morning. So the Women's Center at Tarrant County, which like helps supply this hotline, we have different resources there. They've got some counseling services, which I know isn't exactly what you're looking for, but they can get you plugged into hopefully more helpful people. There are some really smart women over there. And if you're looking to pursue
I
kind of
did.
like
I
legal
communicated
action,
that
there's
my
also
I communicated that my abuser was running law enforcement.
right. Yeah, that's such a difficult situation.
All domestic violence organizations
Was there?
conspired with it. All of them. One to the degree
I
of
hear you.
sitting
Yeah,
there watching me getting assaulted and arrested in Garland, Texas at New Beginnings. They just sat there and looked. I told them the police department was involved in my abuse and I was scared. The police department came, arrested me with a criminal trespass for attending a domestic violence support group, and assaulted me before they did it. And our staff just
Oh
sat
my
there,
goodness.
witnessed it, and did nothing. I was mistreated and virtually assaulted at church. I was begging for my life at a church that I attended decades. They when I was doing that, doing a testimony, someone grabbed me and then drugged me out the church. This was the big sanctuary. I fell because they were rushing me out so quick. So then they started dragging me with my legs on the ground and then threw me on the ground outside on concrete, hard. They were making a point that they were
Oh my
upset that I
goodness.
begged for my life at the church. But the problem of it is everywhere I've called for 6 years has deprived me of services in person and on my phone. And to make sure that I don't beg for help at church now, the police department's already connected to all churches I go to and enlist them in as conspirators. And nothing has been repetitively done. And the churches do it.
Oh my gosh. That where else are you supposed to go to
I
ask for
know,
help?
but for six
If
years, a lot
I
of
don't
people
know.
I've talked to, I've hit the jackpot and they were all new and weren't giving me any information along like what happens in person.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. It sounds like you have a extremely difficult situation if you've been, banned from churches and the police are not intentionally being unhelpful, and causing a lot of these problems. So the things that we're kind of taught to help you use are, like, a lot of them are being ruled out by your situation, which isn't fair to you. And so I'm trying to think in my head if there's anything.
Yeah, they've been really thinking really hard, but some kind of way with their thought process, they don't give me services. The thought process is deny all the services the organization offers and do a referral to another location for 6 years. That's how the thought process has been.
I hear you. Yeah, that's very frustrating to be put like in limbo like that. Can I ask what you've been referred to in the past?
I just don't understand why we can't communicate on what you offer there. Why I have to keep enduring this year after year.
So, I hear you. So we do offer, like I said, the counseling. There is a legal office. I'm understanding you might not be interested in that.
Why would I not be interested in a legal office? Wouldn't they give me information on how I can get accountability for police that choose to break the law and be enlisted in abuse?
Forgive me, ma'am.
Don't you help with protection orders?
Right.
And safety plans?
Yes. So they would be able to help you with that. Sorry, I think I misunderstood earlier that you might not be interested in that, but I got you wrong. But there is a legal office there, and they've got great attorneys. And there also are classes on, like, kind of recovering from trauma, because it sounds like what you've gone through is, like, honestly pretty intense. So if you'd be interested in that, there's kind of like group classes, and they're very healing. But I don't know if that's kind of your thing or not.
It is, but here's the problem. Each location gives me the minimal help, so the police department and my abuser has no consequences. And it's kind of difficult on me that the police department and my abuser are running all my environments. Who would want that?
Right.
Down to even attending church and where I'm staying now.
Right.
Multiple people have acted mentally ill and threatened me and did stuff that was inappropriate and tried to pretend like they were mentally ill. This is a pattern. And then my caseworker did the same thing, blame me for something that didn't happen, and won't give me any services here. To be forced to stay in these toxic environments that are controlled is terrifying. But here's the thing, this is a domestic violence organization, and I'm asking for help. And I'm not quite sure how you could help, but you said the counseling. How can we help to get accountability for these abusers?
That's a really big question, and I'm not sure. My go-to would be kind of like a legal action, or maybe like writing letters to lawmakers potentially. But that's kind of a question that is really difficult to tackle because there's a lot of nuance there. But that's something that our legal office could answer better than I could, because I'm not trained in like specific like.
Yeah, it's really frustrating because each place that I go, they're actually trying to conceal what's going on and being dishonest.
Right.
And then I just have had no relief from this chaos. Even calling every place, every last one I call on my phone is covering for my abuse, and what they're trying to do is see if anybody else will buy that this is a real call, and they actually tried to help.
Right. And I can't tell you what they're going to tell you if you go to our legal office, but I know that everyone at, our center at least is focused on helping you. And
it sounds like this call is fruitless if you say you don't have any education, and you told me about the counseling for trauma. And what was the other service you told me about?
Yeah, the legal services, the counseling for trauma, and then they also have different things that are more kind of like getting survivors back on their feet. So like helping look for jobs, like.
Yeah, but there's nothing to have accountability for the abuser. So he keeps getting away with it, and the pattern continues because there's no accountability.
Right.
You didn't say any kind of protection orders you guys helped me with or anything like that. You didn't tell me, any consequences to have accountability for the police department as well as any other location. All places have been covering for my abuser and the police department.
Yeah, so the legal action piece would be kind of the most standard way to get accountability. Unfortunately, that's kind of what we're stuck with. We also are connected with like different women's shelters. If that's something that you would need, we could potentially get you plugged in with one of those places, and maybe that would be a safer situation for you while you kind of figure all of this out. It sounds like it's been going on for a long time, and we would want to help you move, recover from that as best we can. So kind of, unfortunately, there's nothing immediate that I can do other than refer you back to our main building, our main office, because it sounds like the things that you would benefit most from are kind of those in-person services.
I have no clue what is happening. I was told to speak with you, and I don't understand what's happening. I'm sitting here listening to you, and we have no solutions or no avenues for me to get assistance.
I think I'm hearing you're frustrated, and I'm so sorry about that. I'm honestly frustrated with you. I wish I could do more from where I am. But with that said, like, I do think your best option, or not your best option, but one of the options that you have would be to go in person and talk with kind of our
So I'm not allowed to be like
center.
other women and talk to someone on the phone and then get referrals and information and then maybe set up an appointment. I'm not allowed that. So you want me to go in person? I don't have the right to talk to someone on the phone? Because when I came in person, the security guard was watching me and using intimidation tactics when I showed up on your camera footage. So then when I went in the office to speak to the lady, the first time I came, they said that they don't help people that are schizophrenic. I didn't know them from anyone. But they said they don't help people that are schizophrenic. You have to go to MHMR. I said, what are you talking about? Oh, she said, never mind. That was the first time. So then we set up an appointment. So in the appointment, she said that I can't give you case management. So I got my phone and I recorded it. I said, you said you can't give me case management. I didn't say that. That's what she said. It was a blatant lie. She did. So then she, after I stopped recording, she said that she couldn't do anything, but maybe I could speak with the legal team. This was the case Victims Advocate. So then I started to record her saying that, and she said, you can't record, you got to leave. And then on our way out, she nodded to the security guard, like it's done, on your camera footage. Why would she nod to the security guard, and then the security guard told me to cut the, like he motioned with his hands to cut the recording. All these people don't want me recording their criminal activity all over the place.
Yeah, that sounds really frustrating. To be perfectly honest, I'm not really sure what happened. That security guard is usually there just to keep abusers out of the building.
Normally what happens, because they said my abuser sends out his own security. Places that don't have security have security when I show. And the security is telling people how to cover for my abuser and also contribute to psychological abuse. That he just drops off his own security at places that don't have it. No one would ever believe my story that someone would abuse that much power and all these locations would let them.
Mm-hmm. That sounds really scary, honestly. I will tell you though that the Women's Center always has security, so that person might have already been there, because they focus a lot on keeping the Women's Center a safe place for women and people who come in. Whatever was going on outside of that, I'm really not sure. That sounds incredibly frustrating, Kiana, and so I'm sorry to hear about that.
For years, people have been playing games and not giving me my rights, any solutions, these long, drawn out phone calls to not get any information, period. It's like mind games. So you're a victim's advocate and you haven't given me any avenue on how to get consequences for my abuser or the police department. And then you claim that you're new, but they have been new for 6 years. So all this time that I spent with you on the phone, it's like you're sabotaging information. So what are we going to do? I've been on the phone 20 minutes. I'm not quite sure how long with you.
Mhm.
Let's see how long with you
Yeah,
on
I
this
don't mean to
call.
waste your time.
Yeah, 19 minutes on this phone call.
Okay. So sorry, ma'am. I don't mean to waste your time. When the previous victims advocate referred you to the legal department, were you able to meet with them at all, or did
No.
you?
No, she took the
To do
card
that?
back. They do
Is
that
that
a
something that
lot.
you would want
For
to do?
I'm sorry, for psychological abuse, they do that a lot. They'll bring resources and take them back. So I never get them. Multiple different locations have done that.
Okay. That
And
sounds
then
so
it's other
frustrating.
locations give.
Hello?
I'm just waiting to see if you're
Hello?
going to give
Did I
me
lose
any
you?
number, any referral for anyone to talk to out of all this time I've been on the line, or what is going to be done.
Would you be interested in a legal referral? I can't guarantee what they're going to say to you when you call them, because I'm not sure. Can I ask more specific? So, what I've heard from this is that you're looking for accountability for the legal department, or for your abuser in the police department. The best way I know how to do that is through the legal system. Is that something that you would want to talk with our legal office, or should we think of something else?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever services you're willing to give me.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Let me pull that number really fast.
So it's impossible for you to set up an appointment with your own legal team. I have to call another number and go over it again and again and again, like I've been doing 6 years to get nowhere.
I know. I apologize for that. They manage their own schedules.
Okay.
And so
this is the crisis hotline, and I'm not getting any safety plan or any education for the crisis. Period.
If that's something that you would like to do, we can certainly do that too.
I just thought that you would have the initiative if someone said that all domestic violence organizations cover for their abuser, and that police departments also conspire with abuse. That would be something you want to do on your own. I'm kind of amazed that you have no intention before I asked about it to do help with that on your own at a domestic violence organization as an advocate.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize for that. Are you? Do you want this legal number first, and then we can talk about that? Or
okay.
Okay. Are you ready for the
Yes.
number? Okay, it's 817-927. So it's 817-927-4000.
And what is this a number to?
This is the number to the legal clinic at the Tarrant County Women's Center.
Okay.
And they have kind of general counseling, so they might be able to give you a better idea of what the process might look like. I don't know how busy they are, but this is what I've got. And then as far as crisis planning, let's see. Do you feel safe where you are, where you're living right now?
I'd like to be in a safer environment if possible.
Right. Does that and what type of housing are you in?
It's a shelter.
Right now.
It's a shelter.
Shelter. Okay. Which one, if you don't mind? I honestly don't know if it's going to be better than Presbyterian though. So I can mull over that in the background. When you
Okay, so let me just make sure I have an understanding the psychological abuse in games that I had to endure years. So I've communicated I was in an domestic violence situation that involves the government, and your recommendation is for like an army full of other people to recommend I go to a homeless shelter.
Not a homeless shelter, ma'am.
You said that it was not any different than the other shelter. It's a homeless shelter.
Oh, forgive me. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. There is a shelter for domestic abuse survivors, but I don't know the specifics of how getting admission to that place works. I just want to be transparent with you. So when you feel like you're in a moment of crisis, what usually happens?
Okay, so I don't understand why these calls are like this, ma'am. This is antagonizing. Because if I'm telling you that I'm in a domestic violence crisis that involved the police department, we were supposed to get a safety plan. And I mean, as an advocate, you've done very little. So what was your question again?
I see. I was just trying to understand more about your situation.
What was your question? Or can you repeat your question?
When you're, yes, ma'am. I was just asking, when you're having feelings of like in crisis, spiraling, what is normally happening around you?
Well, it's traumatic when everywhere you go, including your family members, are covering for your abuse, and then they use mind games and schemes so you can't get services, and you're just stuck in that for 6 years of being violated, and all your environments playing mind games and conspiring with abuse, no matter where you're at. Even restaurants, I'm not safe for catching the bus. I have not been heard when I just said that I don't believe that so many people would conspire with such insanity.
Right.
And I can't believe other people condone it. But my abuser said that, everyone has a price, and I wasn't getting it, and I was definitely wrong because it appears that everyone does. But I would like to concentrate on the services and a solution.
Yes, ma'am. So to get you through a crisis moment, I'm hearing that you felt like you're in crisis, or you have been in crisis, pardon me, for the past 6 years, which is horrific. So normally when we do crisis management strategies, it's kind of a temporary thing to get you through that moment, and then something with heavier lifting, like therapy situation or time to recover, would kind of pull you out of the long-term crisis. So could we think of together something to kind of pull you out of a spiraling moment, like they offer?
Okay, so to escape a domestic violence crisis that involves a police department that is dangerous because they assaulted me, we are going to work on spiraling like an army full of other people wanted to do. So they recommended these things and then never gave me the services. So to combat my abuser in the police department racking up felonies for themselves and enlisting other civilians in their criminal activity, let's talk about spiraling to escape for your life. Okay, if that's what you're going to offer.
Well, okay. Is that something you want to do? I don't want to.
Don't want. Each place plays these mind games, and then when it's time for me to get the services, I never do. So if you're going to just offer me counseling, MHMR won't offer it. They're crooked. So if you're going to offer it, I'll take it. But each time this has been a pattern, and I never get the help. The police department's enforcing that I don't get any assistance. So I did say that I was interested. This is 30 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Then if that's the case, I want to make sure that you feel heard. So I'm hearing that kind of those immediate strategies don't feel helpful at the moment. But the thing we did connect about was the legal center.
Okay, so now you have heard when I said okay. Now it has changed to you didn't hear that, and you don't want to give me the referrals. It has changed to you didn't understand that I said okay if that's the only thing that you're going to give me with the legal, because it has been denied, but you didn't hear that.
Forgive me, I'm a tad confused.
So the therapy, you have changed your mind. Did you change your mind on it?
No, the Women's Center does offer like group therapy situations and individual counseling. I noticed you said something earlier that might help me give you better referrals. Did you mention something about schizophrenia earlier?
It's mind games.
No, I'm genuinely curious because it would help me refer you to, because the Women's Center isn't allowed to do counseling with, unfortunately, with people with schizophrenia because there's kind of a more specific skill set.
I'm just hoping, I'm just trying to incriminate people, ma'am, so people can know what I had to endure and how all these places that play mind games for people that have racked up felony for themselves. They don't want to get the consequences, and this is how to low key terrorize a government witness. You're playing mind games right now, and like an army full of people I've called. I think it's deliberate. So each time I tell you I want to service, you disregard that and go to another area. So I don't know how to combat this because we have different agendas.
Okay.
You have no legitimate interest in helping me. So I did tell you that I was interested in the therapy, and then you're asking about schizophrenia. They're not concerned. We're not concerned. I have 20 false arrests and getting violated by the government. An abuser can enlist organizations that are supposed to help women flee in the abuse and deprive them of services. You're not disturbed by that.
Well, ma'am, I am, and that sounds like a horrific situation, and I really do want to get you help.
Okay, you asked me about the therapy, ma'am?
I did, and the reason I was asking about the mention of schizophrenia, because I'm not sure if you said you had it or if someone else did. I just wanted to clarify that.
No, the lady was slandering me because she didn't want to give me services in a conspiracy, which is a felony charge. But people haven't had accountability. So my viewers have to hear these long, drawn out conversations, but it's my life. It's deliberate for mind games.
Okay.
So I would like you to give me the number, if possible, for the therapy.
Okay. I can grab that for you.
Is there anyone there that has experience since you're new?
Usually the full-time office workers do. Let's see. I can give you their number, and they would be able to refer you more closely. Because they're in the office, and they can just turn and talk to the women, the women who help with the different services. Yeah. So here's their main office number. It is.
This is for the therapy?
817.
Is this for the therapy?
This is the main office. I'm not finding a direct number to therapy in my resource book, but I know we have it. They have kind of events they have group events once every weekish, and then they would have to schedule, kind of like the legal clinic, they would have to schedule you in specifically. So they kind of give an umbrella number.
Are you going to give me the number?
Yes, ma'am. So that's 817-927-4040. So it's pretty close to the legal center number.
So as a case victims advocate, the only thing that you were able to do was give me referrals today.
Yes, ma'am. So my role is to de-escalate immediate crisis and provide referrals for the future. But the numbers I gave you can give you more long-term solutions and concrete action.
And the last number you gave me, the 817-927-4040, what is that for?
This is for the main women's center, and if you mention therapy, they'll get you to the therapy people.
Can you transfer me, or do I need to call?
I can't transfer you because I'm from myself. I'm not on location with them.
Okay. Well, ma'am, you weren't really helpful with a lot of resources and didn't give me my rights on my law, my information on my rights, protection orders. But all locations I've called for years have sabotaged assistance and information. Okay, let me try this other number and see what they have going on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You hope I have a better day? Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am. It sounds like you've had a rough. Yes, ma'am. I sincerely do. I hope you have a better.
Yeah, a lot of places have been narcissistic, ma'am. Narcissism is an abuse, a form of abuse. We weren't able to talk about the staff misconduct and why they told me they didn't help people with schizophrenia when I went up to the front desk. They didn't know me. They weren't supposed to know me. So someone had already controlled the domestic violence organization to antagonize someone. That's criminal, doing that in a conspiracy.
Incredibly frustrating.
Scheming to deprive someone of services. And oppressing someone. Okay, ma'am. I hope people get the consequences. That would make a really good, wonderful day. Okay, thank you.
I agree. Bye.
Bye.
How can I help you?
Yes, you didn't say your name.
I'm sorry?
You didn't say your name.
My name is Dora.
Okay, I was told to call this number back, Dora. We just spoke.
Okay. How can I help you?
We just spoke about the domestic violence crisis that involves the government and how all domestic violence organizations were scheming to keep me from services. Either they outright denied them, sabotaged them, or retracted on services for years.
Okay.
6 years plus.
How can I help you? Hello?
You can't hear me, Dora?
I can hear you. I did give you the number to our victim services department, ma'am.
Yeah, I've been getting this run around years for torment, ma'am.
Okay.
She just called me and told me to call back here.
Okay. Have you contacted the police?
I don't know why the domestic violence organization would antagonize and deprive me of services. You'd have to see something like that to believe it.
I don't work for that department. This is why I gave you that number.
She just referred me back to you, and I've had to endure this years, ma'am.
Who is she?
I didn't get her name, but for the 817-927-2737 number.
Okay, that's fine. If you don't mind holding for me, let me see if I can get a case manager on the phone for you.
Okay.
What's your name?
It's Kiana Clark.
Tiana?
So to talk about services and then change the subject and never give me the number for the services is equivalent to in person when they bring me the resources and then take them back. This was not just one event. This has happened multiple times. Someone's deliberately doing this to play mind games. Is it time? 9:13. Yes.
Thank you for holding. Okay, so I just spoke to that department, and unfortunately they said you already got all the resources that we can give you. And there's not much more that we can do for you.
What resources did you guys give me?
I'm not sure, but I believe that you already came into our office, and we already tried to help you as much as we could. Unfortunately,
they didn't give me any information. The lady took back the legal aids number. She told me she couldn't help me and then lied during the conversation. And security was intimidating me and bullying me. I'm not being heard. So I don't know why so many people would lie about me getting services in a conspiracy. That's a felony charge.
Okay. Well, it seems like
what was your name again? What was your name?
My name is Dora, ma'am. I've given you my name several times. So
it's like you guys are gaslighting me, ma'am. Because we didn't. Who told you? I just wanted to know who told the staff, ma'am, that I had schizophrenia. Who told them that?
I have no idea.
Well, we need to figure it out because someone should not be calling the organization in advance before I get there and tell them to commit crimes.
Call 911. Unfortunately, I do have to end the call because I do have.
I've been on the line 40 minutes, ma'am, with all these games, and I've had to endure this years. This is abusive.
It hasn't been 40.
No, this is my second time calling, ma'am. I've been on the phone trying to speak with you guys.
But I am going to have to end the call.
Ma'am, that's very abusive to have me spend all this time. So this is what my case manager gave me, fleeing abuse that the government's involved in, reentry program for inmates, Christian Connection, Mission Central, CATS, counseling, depression, alcohol. Don't forget to feed me, American Red Cross, VA, veteran, flip on the other side, emergency help, Gladney Center, Mother and Unborn Baby Care, Real Choices Ministry, Choosing Heritage, Catholic Charities, Parenting Advice Line, Parenting First Mission, Legal Aids. They all deny services, and homeless shelters for an abusive situation. Alzheimer's support services. She gave me affordable housing, and the number 2, the advocacy projects, Texas Advocacy Project. These are the referrals. The referrals are controlled. I know that they were controlled because people would give me the same referrals for homeless organizations when I told them I was in a crisis that involved the government. And then a lot of times, if they weren't playing these games, they take the paperwork back. So I never got it to taunt and torment.
Texas Advocacy Project, the Hope Legal Life. If this is an emergency and you are in...
So all these locations are networked. If they're giving me the information, they're crooked. So I never get the help.
To you, it's important to us. However, we are experiencing a call as soon as possible.
3 minutes, 34 seconds. So every single thing I have done online, not some, every single thing I've done online, I have never heard back from them. I've sent multiple tips online to the FBI, not one phone call. I've sent tips to the CIA, Department of Justice, nothing. No one has called me back. For which I've reported the crimes going on with the Health and Human Services. No one has called me back for that. Online, I reported corruption with courts. No one has called me back with that. Nan.
Please consider applying for services online at
National Action Network by Al Sharpton. They haven't called me back. They called me in the past to play games.
Press 1 to leave a message for a return call.
Like an army full of people,
as soon as possible.
they like to taunt. So they'll dangle services and then tell me they'll call me back, and then different things will happen, and it never does.
Advocacy Project, how can I help you?
Your name's David?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, and what did I call again?
The Texas Advocacy Project.
Okay, I heard something that you can help with stalking and other different things on the automated system.
So we do domestic violence, stalking, things like that. We help with free legal advice.
I'm sorry?
We help with free legal advice.
Okay, what did you say about the domestic violence and stalking?
So we do help with that kind of stuff, but it will only be the legal advice. We won't do direct representation.
Okay, let's see. So if I have a person that's stalking me and controlling all my environments and corruption and running the police department, what can I do?
Goodbye.
I'm sorry? He said goodbye and hung up. I was on hold all that time. He hung up. I mean, if you can interrupt conversations, I just got to stop letting these things bother me. If the police department, no one's disturbed by the police department coming to interrupt my conversations and nothing is being done with that. If for them coming out when I'm trying to order food to try to set me up a second time. If churches and an army full of people aren't disturbed by it, there's no reason, you understand why it has been allowed to go on. With the pastor at this church, it really hurt me, if you guys are listening, because he scolded me when I said that I've been handcuffed and violated. Then he scolded me and he said, I think that we're going to have arguments to put me under control. I said, no, sir, I don't have rights. If I can't communicate with you how I've been violated and you have no compassion over it, never mind. Because I've changed churches and all of them condone me being violated. So anyway, what's the point? I've been on hold all this time. The man said goodbye and hung up. I think that they're con artists. I think they're identity thieves. If you don't care about me, how do you feel about the police department controlling a network, a cell phone network that are crooked? Does that bother you?